I think the most important question in many people's mind is how to prioritize their money, right?
Mhm.
So you go to the grocery store, and whether you're a single person or you have a family, you're looking at the prices, and so when we know you grow a lot of your own food and your eggs, and when you shop, how do you prioritize the things you buy organic versus conventional?
So for me, and kind of it all starts in I want to grow as much as possible. I want, and I think that's important for everybody to, learn how to grow something. It doesn't have to be everything, but learn how
They
to
could
grow
put
something.
a pot on their porch or something.
I mean, learn how to grow lettuce and grow it from seed. It'll, cost you $3 to grow as much lettuce as,
Right.
well, a lot of salads can be done for $3. But once you move past that, for me, it's really three factors that I look at. One, what can I not grow or produce? So, grains, and then a lot of the meat products, dairy products. I don't have the time. I don't have the resources. I can't do that. So the next two is what's going to cause the biggest impact. So bioaccumulation of pesticides is a real thing. That's why DDT was a problem. I don't know a whole lot about any of the pesticides that are currently labeled and how much they bioaccumulate, but we didn't know a whole bunch about how much bioaccumulation DDT did when it was currently had an EPA label.
Right.
So for me, I like to minimize bioaccumulation as much as possible.
And explain what that means.
Right.
A lot of people might not know that term.
Right. So when an animal consumes material, like with DDT, for example, when an animal consumed that material, the DDT that was on the grains or grass or whatever it consumed would then build up in its stomach, or build up in its body.
In its tissues.
Yeah. And so over time, as you went further and further up the chain, that pesticide kept moving from this forage crop to this animal to the next animal that consumed that, and
it got stronger, it got more condensed.
and it didn't go away, right? It just got more and more built up in the body, and the culmination of bioaccumulation is dairy, right? Because
it's a big animal.
There's a lot going in, and then in milk there's a condensation of fats, and it's a very protein rich substance, and there's a lot that goes into it, and so the potential for bioaccumulation is highest in dairy.
More so than chicken or pork or other things.
Yeah.
Because it's just bigger animal.
And there's more.
And because it's milk.
And because it's milk.
So would you say there's even more in dairy than in eating beef? Because it's I guess
so
that's
for
for the baby cow, so all the nutrients go in.
Right. So for me, the dairy is more important than the meat.
Interesting. Yeah. Makes sense.
Organic.
It's bioaccumulated, and then it's a more condensed form.
Right.
And that's pretty much what we're coaching people with Choose Joyful Health and 5-Star Eating is prioritize organic animal products. But it's helpful to know that with your background and your understanding of it, that dairy is pretty much like the number one. And if you think about people who can't digest dairy,
right,
and they have a lot of problems with digestion, is it because of all that bioaccumulation maybe that they're having a reaction?
Yeah. And then the other part of that kind of builds into the meat and the proteins is the bigger the footprint that goes into producing that product. If you buy organic beef, that means that cow was fed, an organic diet, and so that it means a lot of organic pasture was produced, pasture.
So
was
more
produced
health for the birds and bees and everybody else. Yeah,
and there were organic grains probably that went into that as well. So that has a much bigger footprint. than say if I go out and buy an organic tomato. That was
Right.
at least 3 feet square,
Right,
3 square feet
that's
managed
really helpful.
organically.
I guess I had been approaching it mostly from nutrition standpoint, and I wasn't thinking about that bigger footprint ecological impact. I mean, I'd thought about it, but it's helpful to clarify. And then, as you're talking, kind of two questions sparked off. And one is like the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen from the Environmental Working Group. How much do you shop based on those rules or those guidelines?
I don't personally.
Yeah.
And a lot of it goes into, I try to produce as many crops as possible.
You're growing that, yeah.
And that's kind of, like, I have a horticulture background. That's what I like to do.
But for the average person, like, I guess the way they come up with those lists is they measure how much of that bioaccumulation I think is in the produce.
And probably how much my understanding is that it's how many and what kind of pesticides are used, and then whether or not you're consuming the part that's sprayed, right?
Because the banana and the avocado, you don't eat the outside.
Yeah, you peel it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I always thought about it too.
Yeah, whereas the strawberry, a lot of pesticides,
And porous.
And you're eating what's sprayed.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of a guideline too. I used to really follow that more strictly, and I think it's a great guideline. But now I kind of go, well, it's got a thick skin, and I'm not eating it, so I'm not gonna. If it's a $2 difference, I might get the other avocado.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's helpful.